Raise your hand if you're like, hey, I'm an entrepreneur. Like, that's what I'm here for. How many? Okay. Folks that are thinking about either doing their own thing or have done it, that's great. You're in the right place. And I saw the name of my session, which is, I think, the whole thing is Staying Alive. Guys, what we're going to talk about, it's not only staying alive, but winning in the future. Because if you haven't felt it, there's a lot of change going on. And there's way more on the way, okay? Just so we're friends and transparently speaking, I was ready for y'all. Natasha and I have been working on this for months. I got a brand new blazer that I was gonna rock this morning, and I left it at home. So, such is life. That's right, you have to adjust. I got out of my car and I was like, really? So anyway, we will soldier on. A little 60 seconds about me, guys. So I am about 22 years in the biotech and the pharma industry on the sell side. Kind of on up, I have my own territory in San Diego all the way up to, we started a company in California, a little engine that could, in the central nervous system space. Drug got approved, ran it to about $125 million in sales, and then in December of 2014, we got bought for $3.5 billion in cash. So that was a good day. And the second the money hit, I did what all you would do. I quit because I paid my dues. And so at that time, how many in this room are not from Baton Rouge? No, you're not. Okay, so a handful. All of us Baton Rouge folks, do y'all remember when you were driving down Essen or Siegen and you look left and you look left again and the Blockbuster was closed, boarded up? Do y'all remember that? I almost hit the car in front of me because I was like, wait, that is not something you see every day, right? So I literally pulled into that parking lot on Siegen and figured out like, what happened here? Because I had time and I had some money and I was interested. What did happen? What's that? Yeah, but who got them? Netflix. But guys, if you're my age, you remember Netflix was kind of cute. It was like this pat on the head. You get your little online cube. We're going to talk about them. The problem with that story, gang, and what we're going to talk about this morning, that was almost 12 years ago. So that's kind of the OG, the grandfather of innovation. Our speed now is so much faster. Now, the good news is for the young people in this room, guys, this is your opportunity. Like everything you want is on the other side of this technology, period. I don't need to, that's true. I don't need to argue that point. I know that it's true. But for us older folks, it's hard to get our head around how could a Blockbuster that was a global company get kneecapped like that? So anyway, we're going to talk about that. From that experience, I went up to Harvard. I took a class by a guy by the name of Clayton Christensen who coined the phrase disruptive innovation, which means you take emerging technology, in Netflix's case, the US Postal Service, you add a new business model, James, return it when you want or don't ever return it, and boom, you have disruption. And that worked. So we have a company now in town called Disrupt Ready, which I founded and run. It's an AI development shop, so we do custom large language models, and we're going to talk about that as well. But I'm curious. We're going to play a little game, and I expected the chairs to be full, but we don't have to have that. Who in the room owns any cryptocurrency? Raise your hand. You do. I know you do. What do you own?
Shibby and Dogecoin, and there's another one. I don't have Bitcoin.
Okay.
Joining in that early, but
Okay.
and then another small one.
And did I see a hand over here?
Yeah, not much, but a bit of Bitcoin and Dogecoin.
Well, friends, the good news for you all today is you all now own the NAT. So you help me. Now, listen, these are coded. I know exactly where these go. So if these are on eBay, everyone gets one. Help me pass that out, would you? Yep, everyone gets one. Here you go. You now own crypto, my lady. Here you go. Yep. Pass those back behind you guys if you would. Now, what you're getting is 1 million the Nats. I thought about like making it the Nat, but the Nat sounded good. We have, more, okay, here we go. Okay, Howard, you got one back there, we good? Who needs more over here? We good? See, this is a good thing about a small room. You can't believe it, can you, Brian? I know, it's hard to believe. There you go. Thank you. There you go. There you go. Now, Everybody got one? Everybody got one? All right. Now, again, we just spiced it up because I'm making my own money up here, so let's go. All right, now we're going to play a game, and I'm going to get 5 volunteers from the audience. And these 2 young ladies up front, they saw me last week, so they kind of know this shtick, but you guys can't vote. Or maybe you don't remember. Okay, here's the game. You have 1 million gnats in your hand, okay? And you're going to hear a paragraph about 5 companies. You're not going to get the complete data set. You have to choose one of the 5 which you think grows your money the best. You can't hedge. So I know my friend James Davis would probably put 20% in all 5. You can't do that. You got to pick one. Does that make sense? Okay, Ashley, can you help me, please? Yes, come on. Yeah. Yes. Cassidy, can you read one for me? Is it Cassidy? Is that right? Yeah. Yeah. Let's see. Great sport coat. You got to come up here because I miss my great sport coat that I bought for this event. Come on, man. We're friends before. Can you come on up and help? And then young Davis. Come on. You're going to be our 5th. Come on. Come on up on stage, guys. We're all friends here. Okay. You're going to be company A. You are company B. You are C. Paul. Yep. You are D. And then Sarah is company E. All right, now, it's only a paragraph, so listen closely. You got to pick one, okay? Who's got company A? Ashley, tell us about company A.
Okay. We are in the business of transportation. We move everything. We've been well established for over 100 years and have stable distribution points. Our margins are slim, but we do sell in volume. Our growth is steady, but not spectacular.
Okay, so all things transportation, all right? B?
We're in the business of fuel. If it needs fuel, we are responsible. We haven't had many innovations lately because ours is such a commodity. The good news with us is the world literally grinds to a halt without us.
Okay, so transportation. C? Paul?
We are in the business of luxury, everything high priced and special. Our business is growing rapidly all over the world. Not for everyone, but sales are brisk. Our production takes more time, and there is currently a waiting list for our products.
So ladies, think Hermes, Fendi, you know. And then Harold, tell us about D.
We repair everything, modes of transportation and everything in between. If it breaks, we fix it. We have a small hand in every business on this list. That means our margins are smaller, but our volume stays consistent.
It's like a books on tape voice there. I like that. All right, and Sarah, finally, bringing up the rear, our last company.
We are a highly speculative startup with major risks. We are looking to create a new industry that we think customers will like, but the legacy markets disagree. High speculation with a big chance of failure. We probably won't turn a profit for 7 to 10 years.
Okay, so you got a little paragraph on each one of the 5. Now you guys are playing 2, so I'm going to go back over them. Ashley told us about the transportation company. Raise your NAT if you're investing here. Okay, we got one back there. How come, Brian?
Transportation, I mean, it's not going anywhere.
That's right. You have to have it, right? Same thing?
I accidentally wrote that.
Oh, okay. We got a fake gnat. We got our first fake gnat of the morning. Wow. Yes, there is an inflate, yeah. It's like meme stocks back there. Anybody else? Okay, B. Cassidy told us about the fuel. I mean, Brian, if you believe that, then you have to have fuel, right? Anybody? We got to work on your sales skills. I mean, come on. Nobody? All right, that's cool. Mr. Style right here. Everything, is that right? You guys, that's right. Luxury, waiting list, high margins, not for everybody. You like that one?
No, I don't like luxury stuff, but I think, yeah.
That's going to make you money?
Yeah.
Okay. How come for you? Yeah. Gotcha. She's transparent. Anybody else for the luxury piece? Wow, that's an interesting audience. Okay, and then Harold's, they fix everything. You like that one? Just kind of like they need everybody? You too? Yep, same thing? All right. And then finally, young Sarah here has the most, I knew you'd be on that one. Okay, I'm curious, why?
You just gave this to me, so.
Nothing to lose? Okay.
Yeah, nothing. So to lose and the most to gain.
Okay, interesting. Over here, same, yeah? Interesting. Yeah, how come?
I like the fact that, yeah, like nothing to lose, everything to gain, but if you look at the past, like Starbucks, it was very cheap, and those that still have it now can retire on it. Same thing with Amazon. So taking a chance, buying it at a cheaper price and holding on to it for longer has the value in it.
Okay. By the way, y'all didn't vote. Who are you going to vote for? You for Harold?
I work for the power company. Everything got to be fixed.
Okay. You? How about you? And you voted for? Okay. She's going to write on herself. Okay. I love the confidence of the youth is awesome. Okay. Yes, ma'am.
She was fuel.
She was fuel, correct. You like that? Okay. Good job. Let me let you off the hook. Okay, I want everybody to close their eyes for a second. Yep. The year is 1908. Open your eyes. 1908. Yep. What does she do? 1908.
Innovative.
She rears and owns horses. What does she do? She owns wheat, flour, grain, right? Fuel, right? What does he do? You know that Wells Fargo coach with the beautiful purple leather and the saddles and he makes that. He's a blacksmith. And this young lady has an interesting startup out of Dearborn, Michigan called the Ford Motor Company. October 30th, 1908, Henry Ford rolls off the first Model T. Why do I tell you that and why is it important? Because the same day someone bought 1,000 head of horses. That's fun, that's cute, guys. That was 123 years ago. So innovation and change waits for no man, right? And so the idea being, if this room is 1908, and I'm like, hey, guess what? There's this thing, it's called the quadricycle. And she looks like, you have got to stop day drinking before you come up and present. Because if this side is with her and goes, we sell hundreds, if not thousands of heads of horses every week. And by the way, it's been that way for 100 years or more. And you're telling me some newfangled something is coming? It'll never work. And think about the ripple up here in this stage that got disrupted, right, by that one single innovation. Can we give our volunteers a hand, guys? This you can keep your money. Just give me back my thing. Good job, guys. Good job. All right, that gets us kicked off the right way. And again, I know where all those gnats are. So anybody on eBay, you're in trouble. Look, if you look to the screens, guys, one of my heroes, Henry Ford, said if he had asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. Now, why is that applicable? Because whatever your jam is today, whatever you're trying to do, I'm telling you, the market is moving under our feet. So the thing to do is not ask customers what they want because of the changes happening. And he certainly didn't do that in a much more difficult time than we have today. Let's see. Ashley, since we're just really good friends, turn around. I want you to tell the crowd what you see in that picture behind you.
A vehicle stuck in the mud?
Uh-huh. That's good. Guys, this picture is in the same city of Dearborn, Michigan. Brian, it's in 1910. Now, why is that important? That's 2 years, brother, after the first one rolled off the assembly line. Wouldn't you think, Carolina, man, that car looked weird, but 2 months in, oh, Fred's motoring down the road and we're still whipping this horse. Let's get down with that. Wouldn't you think? 2 years? But that's what you see. What's the takeaway? The roads weren't ready. Now, you want to really get deep and make a note? Guys, this is about ruts. Personal, you all have them, and professional. Now, what you do not see on this slide is 2 old timers off to the right in a buggy, and they're pointing. And if I had like a cartoon above their head, I'd be like, hey, look at Merle, what an idiot. He bought that Quadra what's-a-doodle. Who was proved to be right? Right, the roads weren't ready. Now, again, that's funny and cute, and the big guy on the stage can tell you that. Don't kid yourselves, gang. In your business today, where are the ruts? Are you saying, AI, I saw an image with 6 fingers. Gotcha. See, I knew it. Because that means you're exactly like those 2 old timers in that buggy. So it's a cute story, but it is a cautionary tale to say you got to push through when innovation's early to say there's something on the other side of that. And I got to not judge, I got to understand it. Guys, the problem is, like I said, this was 114 years ago. It's not 10 years ago, right? So it doesn't wait for any of us. Also, anybody in the room ever heard the question, well, hold on a second. Is AI going to take jobs? You all have, come on, right? Think about, guys, I'll give you 1910. And we're doing this meeting in Detroit. Brian's like, whoa. I have a question. Is this automobile going to take jobs? How would you, knowing what we know now, how would you respond to that question? The better question is, where has this been? Can you imagine the old timers are like, whoa. Horses and buggies are just fine, thank you very much. We want it to stay that way. Do you know the ripple effect, guys, of the automobile? James Davis made multi-million dollars if he just made rubber. And then my man here had let's say a service line across the country and they just fixed cars. The ripples are huge. And what's coming is going to make that look like child's play. So that kicks us off this morning to get your minds right. Now, guys, it's about the big O here. It's opportunity. Do not fall prey to all the nonsense and the cheap headlines and all the things that want you to fear this new technology. That is wrong. It's about opportunity and your mindset, because those who have the positive mindset will win. And we're going to get to that too. Okay, guys, this is where a guy like me tells you either you are disrupting your career or someone else is going to do it for you. Now, if that's true, young lady, which choice do you make? Yeah, she's not dumb. If the rules are changing, she wants to change them herself. As opposed to the guy who was the night manager at the Seagan Blockbuster, and the door, someone knocked and said, brother, rules have changed, you're out of a job. I don't care that you have a 6-month-old baby, right? So you see the signs coming. If this is true, you are disrupting your career or someone else is going to do it for you, right? This slide cost me, I had to go teach a class at LSU because James Davis and I's friend Ed Watson said, wow, that was great. And I said, well, Ed, I just hit LSU pretty hard on the fact that my grandfather's grandfather was educated the same way I am, and I kind of called your baby ugly. He said, we need that, right? And so he dared me to give a syllabus. I did. He greenlit it, and so now I teach a class there. Lost on a bet. Okay, let's sit on this slide for a moment. You guys all know, and take a look at either screen. You know the names on this slide. I want to walk through a couple things here that are important. The 6 industries you see on this slide have been around since our country was a country. So we're talking 240-ish years. Now, anyone want to give me a guess? The icons that you see, how many of those icons are companies that are older than 20 years old? Cassie, what do you think? Paul, what do you think? How many are over 20 years old? Close. 3. What are they?
Netflix, Amazon, Sky.
Yep, that's right. Now, why does that matter? Well, I just told you that these industries have been around for 240 years, right? Guys, if they're on this slide, that means they're the market cap leader in the space, meaning they have the most money. Wouldn't you think 240 years, Ashley, the Nat family would be like, hey, yo, 180 years, y'all, we got it locked down on retail. We have the playbook. Nobody's going to beat us. We have all the industry secrets. We've been doing it great. I just told you that 3 of these companies just got out of college. The rest still have zits. That's how fast this is going. Another thing to notice here, guys, all these guys on this screen put a new technology into a very traditional and old space. I remember when I was at LSU in 1990, we had a freshman from Brazil. And he was on our hall, and the joke of this kid was he used to run to the phone, and he would talk a mile a minute to his parents. Why? Because it was like $5 a minute. So the Portuguese was flowing from my man. Until Skype said, you know what? We're going to use the internet. It's going to be free. And that was a 180-degree flip of what was the term? Gosh, I don't even, is it long distance charges, I guess? it seems weird that we had that, right? Today I can dial halfway around the world on WhatsApp, you name it, right? That's using new technology and a new business model, and they dominate. Let me see a show of hands. Who in the room does not have a username and a password for Netflix? Raise your hand. Cassie, I thought we were friends. You can't lie to me on a Tuesday morning like that. She uses her boyfriend, that's right. At least she's honest. There was another one over here, right? Okay, who in the room is thinking, Henry, I'm thinking about canceling my Netflix? A couple, kind of getting old. Do you have other streaming services? Probably not canceling those, are you? No. Yeah, that is true. Streaming's a tough business. But guys, think about that. Like when I was a kid, it was ABC, CBS, NBC, if I was lucky, a little TNT, and that was your free TV. And y'all just told me you are not giving your $16 a month habit up. That's disruption, right? And by the way, Reed Hastings, who started that company, let's talk about him for a second. And this is important for all of you. Guess what he knew nothing about when he started this company? Entertainment. Because that makes sense, right? He sat on his couch, he put his hand between his cushion, and he pulled up a copy of Apollo 13 that was 41 days late to Blockbuster. So what happened? Walk of shame, returns the video, and it was like $39. He was a logical guy, he's a math guy from Caltech. So he said, well, there's got to be a better way than that. So he walks to the Tower Records, buys a copy of Patsy Cline's Greatest Hits, and then goes to the post office, and he mailed it to himself. And what do you think happened, Brian? Showed up right, which in hindsight, I think it was interesting. I don't know what he expected, right? Like, did he expect it to come in sand crystals or, it was fine. So he said, I can mail entertainment to people. Interesting. Now, do y'all remember the first big choice? This is a young crowd. Remember the first big choice Netflix made us make when you were a young, new account member? Yes.
How many DVDs can you take at one time?
Yeah. And you've seen my stuff. 2 or 3. And I remember I was 28. I was like, we could do 3. And my wife was like, yeah, but I don't believe that late fee stuff. In fact, so my other good prop that I want to show you guys is, I still hadn't returned one. That's legit. So sure enough, they broke the mold. You don't have to return it. And they didn't charge you. We thought that was unbelievable. So it turns out I'd rather walk to my mailbox than get on college at 4:30 on a Friday afternoon, hope that my title was in, not buy the M&Ms, not buy the Twizzlers, not buy the popcorn, and then hope to get it back on time, right? Until someone said, no, there's a different way, right? And so that was their story. Today, they're the top entertainment company in the world, and they were started by a guy on purpose who did not know anything about entertainment. That should be a learning for you. And guys, that was a long time ago. Now, and we're going to get to AI, speeds everything up. But the key is, these days, guys, I sit through a lot of pitches myself and I invest in things. Honestly, if Brian comes to me and says, we want to start a bank, and I've got 20 years in banking, I'm thinking, that's a strike against him. Now that's weird. Wouldn't you think? Hey man, he's got 20 years in the space. Doesn't he know what's up? I'll give you an example of why it's not weird. If this side of the room is the Marriott Board of Directors, and this side is the Hilton Board of Directors back in the day, do y'all want to guess how long it took both those groups to say, nobody wants Cassie's second bedroom. It's weird, it won't work. Less than 29 minutes, both boards. And guys, you don't get on a board of companies like that by being a numbskull. It's decades of experience, tons of money made, and they said, nobody wants to rent Cassie's second bedroom. How's Airbnb doing today? Don't own a single hotel room, and their market cap is double combined Marriott and Hilton. But don't miss that. The quote-unquote smart people, the legacy players in the room said it won't work. Just like somebody said, Cassidy, what kind of car do you drive? Nobody wants Cassidy's backseat of her Camry. Turns out, Uber and Lyft. How about this? How many in the room would rather go in a taxi than Uber and Lyft? Raise your hand. Well, hold on a second. Now, taxi cab drivers are nice. What's wrong with y'all? What's that?
It's probably gonna take them a long time to get to.
Oh, okay. So we would wait, right? I mean, guys, the crowd has spoken. We all just said, no, we like it better. That's UX and UI, user experience and user interface. We just like the rideshare guys. But again, everybody in that space, the taxi cab unions laughed out of the room. Who wants the backseat of her Camry? The guys who started that company said, no, we see inventory. And we think we can make a better customer experience and people will like it. Turns out they did, right? So this is just to get you guys kind of warmed up for what's happened. Well, what's coming? You don't want to be in there. And notice there is room in the back on purpose. But guys, we talked about Blockbuster, all the retail players. For you youngins in the crowd, when I say Kodak, you don't even know what that is, do you? Like, right, Brian? Where'd you go to high school, Brian? Yeah. Okay, Brian went to Scotlandville. And guess what? When he graduated, he had his Kodak moment. Looking all good in his robe, right? Got his picture with the dean. Guys, when your brand makes it to a verb, you win. Google it, search. Let me get a Coke, soda. Kodak moment. And yet, how did they make their money? Two ways. The film and the chemicals to produce the film. So when Brian and his family went to Orange Beach for the vacation in the late 90s, and Mom's finger was in half the photos at the K&B that she got from developing the film, he threw those away. That's just the way it is. Until this came out. And then when Brian's mom took a picture, she kept it, right? That she didn't like. No. What'd she do when she didn't like a picture she took on the phone? Deleted. Guys, Kodak should have been in the business of making memories. They should be Instagram. They're out of business. They were a dominant beast of a player, 140,000 global employees. Didn't see it coming. Actually, check that, they did. They hired an engineer in the late 70s to build the world's first digital camera. He did. They put it in a file cabinet. They had it. They had it. But it didn't sell one ream of film or one vat of chemicals. So that's called the innovator's dilemma. You know who else is square in those crosshairs right now? Google. If this side of the room is Google's ad business, which by the way, $95 billion in revenue last year, and this side of the room is Google's AI division, y'all aren't doing lunch together. Because this group wants to put you out of business. And if I'm the CEO, I'm like, kids, play nice. But in other words, do you cripple yourself short term to live long term? Kodak didn't do it. So these are some examples. Okay, I'm going to teach you really quickly how to spot this coming, right? And guys, we've done this slide with companies for a full day. We get flip charts all around a room like this. Why? Because if you spend time, this is the playbook that will put you out of business. Let's go back in the early 2000s, Casting. Let's make like we're Blockbuster. If we had said, okay, where's the market complacent? What that means is, when was the last time the market had a hard right turn? Like, customers have to come to our building to rent our product, and they have to return it to us. That's a market complacency, right? We charge for that service. There's a late fee. There's only so much inventory, and all these things, you start to tick them off, and it's like, yep, that's the way it's been. Let me ask it this way to the group. When's the last time the airline industry had a non-complacent moment? Anybody?
Like that's right for disruption.
Yeah. Sometimes someone says, oh, Southwest. Southwest flies the same 737 Boeings out of the same TSA pre-check deal at MSY, same jetway, right? They laugh and give you an A, a B, or a C, a bag of peanuts, and we'll see you in Orlando and tell you a stupid joke, right? That's a sales and marketing change. You're right. That is ripe for disruption. And I could talk to you guys about that. The second one, the easiest one, guys, customer frustration. If a business looks at where your customer's really white hot, that's the easiest sign. It's not if, but when someone is coming with a new model and a new way to flip you. And they're betting that your customers will like it. And when they do, they ain't coming back. Like, what's your name, my friend? Yeah.
Austin.
Austin. If Austin wants to open up a bank today, And he goes, you know what? We're going to not offer mobile banking. Y'all investing? Because Austin's like, no, I think that Natasha wants to get in her car, sign the check, wave at the Shirley to the lady in the teller, put the thing in the tube, get her receipt, and drive back to the office. Right? No. The second we all took a picture of that check and was like, I was kind of skeptical, but it worked. Never the same again. Right? So when you allay that customer frustration, they're not coming back. And so that is another sign that the industry's ripe for disruption. To your point about airlines, tension points. Has anyone in the room heard of Uber Elevate? It's what it sounds like. It's a hovercraft. It's probably not quite as big as this stage. It's got 6 seats. It gently rises about 100 feet above, and it glides, and then it sets down. I've seen it with my own eyes. I'm an investor in the company. It works. And you say, well, great, man. Why isn't it here? Because the FAA controls the airspace. So they want to know, fair questions, where is this taking off? Where does it land? How do we tax it? Fair. But that's a slowdown to that disruption that's coming. Guys, can you imagine? The joke I always make, I live 9.1 miles from Tiger Stadium, and we have a suite in the south end zone. When Alabama's in town, Brian, you know how long it takes me to make that drive? At least. So if I knew that existed and it picks me up in my front yard, $200, $250, $300, because you just sold me time back. You created a time machine. I'm in. 4:30 today, let's go meet at the I-10, I-12 split, and let's watch. Right? Can you imagine 100 feet above us, just people just gently gliding? Talk about a disruptor. It's coming. You're going to see that in your lifetime. So great kind of roadmap here, guys, to say this is where it's going to happen, these 3 big things. Okay, this is what we call the Essential 8 at our company. This is why I founded the company, because all of what I just told you is speeding up because of these 8. And these 8 are coming to change everything. We have subject matter experts on all 8. Everything from, I tell you what doesn't get the ink it deserves is robotics, guys. The task removal that humans don't want to do is coming quickly. If I could take you on a field trip 0.2 miles from here, let's go to Cortana Mall, James. Oh, I'm sorry, it's not Cortana Mall anymore? What is it? Amazon. Has anybody been in that building? 1/3 of that building is robotics. So, and there's more on the way. So that's coming. But that rascal up in the top left, November 30th of 2022, anybody remember what happened on that day? OpenAI launches GPT-3. And since then, our work has been about 99% AI. We do a little bit of the blockchain, which is coming big time too. We're not at the commercial adoption level, but when a 5-year-old can understand the interface and how to use ChatGPT, the game's over. And that's what's happened. So this is the Essential 8. Again, guys, those drones, I always joke, so where we live. So this year, out of that facility, you will see a drone delivery program. It's a pilot. 70% of Amazon's deliveries are under 10 ounces. That's a lot. So a drone can deliver those. I always joke with my friends, if they have people in the insurance industry, I would insure the drones, because we live in South Louisiana, so Bubba's going to get that shotgun and try to shoot that drone out the air, right? Short term, but that's coming. But drones are going to be a big part of our economy. Okay, let's get to the AI piece. Show of hands, who in the room does not have a ChatGPT account? Okay, so the minority. Okay, good. Anybody that doesn't have it, willing to share it with me why? And I'm not judging, I'm curious. Don't even know what's going on? Okay. Are you averse to it? Like, you're like, no way, or you just don't know enough? Oh, she's got it.
Yeah. I have a lot of the stuff you're talking about, so he just gets it.
See, now I'm getting the picture. This is the brains of the operation here. You're the. Okay, gotcha. So you work smarter, not harder. Gotcha. Okay. So guys, if you hate AI, this is the guy to blame. If you saw the movie The Imitation Game, this is Alan Turing. a PhD out of Great Britain, really, really smart guy. And he simply said, I propose to consider the question, can machines think? Now, this was in 1948. How do you think that went over back then? Not well, right? Like, don't day drink. So this stayed in the halls of academia for decades, white papers that none of you would read, really complicated codes, terms like machine learning and integers and data sets and stuff that's just boring. And then 2015 happened, and a guy named Sam Altman and Elon Musk started a company called OpenAI, and they start playing around with this. And two big things happened, guys. One, we went from CPU world to GPU world, graphical processing unit. Now what that means to you is it's, depending on the GPU you have, 50 to 100 times faster than our CPU world. So we can run through this data a lot quicker. And the data set in this world doubles every 2 years, which you should say, wait a minute, that doesn't sound right. Who has a baby under 5 in this room? Anybody? Under 5. How many, rough guess, how many pictures on your photo roll on iPhone do you think you have? Thousands, right? So that's, guys, that's one person, right, in the cloud, and he has thousands of photos. And we really think it's hard to imagine that the world's data size doesn't double every 2 years? And it's coming, meaning there's more data to make sense of. So those are the two big reasons why we have AI. If I could show your 5-year-old, my friend, in a vision what AI is, it's that picture right there. We put a robot or a computer in the largest library built in the history of mankind, reading every book ever written or produced and getting smarter as a result. So think about that. This is the really important thing to grasp about AI. It's very personal. It's a one-to-one conversation with that. Another way to think about this for your business is, what happens when intelligence becomes a commodity? When intelligence is something like, you think about buying socks, because that's a commodity. And that's where we are, guys. So right here, I'm here to tell you the limiter is us. You look in the mirror, that's your biggest threat, because it's ready. Can you get your mindset around, how would I use that? That's it. So great, you say, I came to BREW this morning, I'm here, Henry's preaching about AI. What is ChatGPT? That is the wrong question, my friend, and you are 2% smarter as a result of this slide. The right question is, what is a large language model? LLM. This is the vernacular you're going to hear for years. We'll see. But right now, this is the dominant kind of vehicle inside AI. ChatGPT, LLM. Google's Bard, LLM. Gemini, LLM. Cohere, Perplexity. There's dozens of these, which are represented right here. Guys, if you knew the money on the sidelines you don't hear about that's coming to the dance, if we do this talk 6 months from now, this slide is 10x. It's 10 times bigger. So everybody, I'm talking as niche as you want to get, commercial construction LLM, secondary education LLM, beginner salesperson LLM, they're all coming. They're all coming. And there's got major ripple. Okay, the bottom, blue graph, guys, this is the OG Netflix. 3 years to get to 1 million users. ChatGPT, 5 days, guys. And that, guys, that data is 18 months old. So again, if you were the biggest skeptic of the technology, you cannot ignore the speed. Something is happening. And again, that's 18 months old. You are looking at the most successful, quickest launch in the history of mankind. And that is not hyperbole, it's true. So what is going on? What do these people know that you don't? Okay, I want to show you a couple of examples. Anybody played around with Midjourney? Midjourney, I think, is the greatest art generator in the AI world, okay? So I'm going to give you 2 examples, April of 2022 and then April of last year. I need to do one of this year. I'm going to give you what we call a prompt. So it's Indian woman sitting by the banks of a river. That was April of 2022. Andrew, what do you see there, my friend? You can be honest.
Yeah, there's some discrepancies. It doesn't really show the river too much.
How's her face looking to you?
Yeah, not too human. I feel like the earlier versions of LLM struggle to get facial
But to be fair, I was like, you know what? I mean, it's not bad. I mean, a 6-year-old could, it's not bad. Same exact prompt, same engine 1 year later. If you guys, you need to get up a little closer and look at the definition in her face. Look at the skin tone, look at the lighting, look at her eyes, look at her nose ring. Same exact, what does that tell you? What's the takeaway? It's getting smarter. And that's over a year ago. I'm going to update this slide this afternoon in my office. I'm going to do 3 because it's going to give us a better output. Now stop right there. If anybody in this room is in sales and marketing and or wants more customers, what does this mean to your business? Let's do a little coaching here. This was a typed query by me. And I got that. So come on, think with me here. You want to tell the world a message. On that right side, that image, it was seconds. So do you need to go invest in a fancy schmancy old school marketing house? You can, but you're going to open up a bank with no mobile banking. It's at your fingertips. Not only that, you can do that per the persona. Maybe Cassidy doesn't want to see that picture. Maybe she wants to see something else. You can and should do that. Right? This is the kind of power that this is unleashing. Okay, we're going to go through some real world business cases, and then I want to get to definitely a point where you guys can ask questions. What I'm about to show you guys, we have built, so I can speak to it, personally. And I think that when you can understand kind of where this is being used and how, it helps. So market knowledge transfer. We just finished this at LSU. BASF, guys, has anyone heard of them? They're the largest chemical company in the world. They came to us with a problem, and it's called Dr. John. And Andrew, turns out there is a Dr. John who's, I think he's 69 years old. He's been at BASF his whole career. He has 2 PhDs, super smart, highly paid, and guess what? Everybody calls Dr. John. Just probably like most industries. You get a veteran piece of your workforce, and it's like, oh, just call Miss Shirley. She knows what to do. And it works. Problem is, Dr. John's on a beach in Pensacola, retired, done this summer. So you can't call him anymore. So BASF's problem is how do we memorialize all that information in his head when he's gone? Everybody show up to the 2-hour lunch when he gets his gold pen and wait, when the pipes are below 30 degrees, what do you do? And then he's gone. So here's what we did. We took every email he's ever written, PowerPoint, Excel, PDFs, anything he had collaborated on, ingested it into our large language model, and then we interviewed him, audio with a bunch of specific questions. Again, the LLM ingested that audio and it trained on it. So now, young engineer James would go, what would Dr. James do, or Dr. John do if the pipes were below 30? Hit. And there's the answer. So he's gone, the information stays. And think about the power. That's for the chemical guys, which it makes sense, but think about the power of mentorship there. And just the things that people that have been around the block know that they want to pass on to other people. So it's really powerful. And I think this is going to be a massive, we're going to probably do this time and time and time again. Okay, this was in the paper, so I could share with you the customer. Neighbors Federal Credit Union is a Baton Rouge credit union, great people. About $1.8 billion in management, 280 employees. Steve Webb is the CEO, and he came to me with a problem. They had a young lady who had started her career as a teller with them, literally that week. And an elderly woman came to her window and said, my husband's passed away. We've been members for 51 years. What do I do now? And as you can imagine, the girl went white and goes, that's a doozy for my first day. Let me get Tina, my manager. Well, Tina was gone that day. So in that world, that is known as a member fail. They did not accomplish their goal there. But I talked to the CEO and he said, that's weird, Henry. We have a policy for that. I mean, there's no gray area, right? So we took 3,953 pages of their policies and procedures. Our large language model learned on it. So today she would say, oh, you have my empathy. What do we do when a member dies? And boom, there it is on the phone in seconds. Tina's not involved. Doesn't have to go ask anybody else, right? So here's what I want you to think about, guys. In your own businesses, how many of these things are like question, answer, no gray area? What time does BREW open? Can I wear shorts to work? Can a 15-year-old open up a checking account? What time does this business close? There's more than you think. But think about today, Ashley may be answering some of those questions. It's like, yeah, happy to do it, but that took 9 minutes of my time. So now all their 280 employees have that on their phone at their fingertip. And it gets smarter as they have more queries. And then they can add or subtract from those policies and procedures. We're working with LSU on this for the fall. Turns out a lot of parents just want to, hey, when do I drop Sarah off at which dorm at what time? That's all I want to know. And they're emailing the bursar and the president and the provost and James, right? James, I mean, this is your world. How many examples of question, answer? Nobody needs to be in the middle. Hundreds? Yeah. Think about this. James' daughter Sarah goes to Alabama. What if she had a bot that knows she is a MIS, computer science person coming out of high school, and it knew the entire mapping of what her schedule would look like for 4 years at Alabama? Because of course it could. But guess who wouldn't? I wouldn't, as the counselor, go, well, wait a minute, I can get there. And by the way, why would I want to do that work as a human?
Exactly.
Right? Like,
Better spent doing something else.
thank you. I mean, look at this woman, screams of creativity. I want her in a creative space. I don't want her telling me how much her canvas costs. It's not her, that's boring, right?
Exactly.
So policies by guys, this again, I mean, we've got, I don't know, probably a dozen banks that we're building this for. And see, here's the key though. Next time you hear someone say, Andrew, it's going to take jobs. And you go, you're damn right it is. Because what person wants to answer these little, what time does the branch open questions? That doesn't constitute work. That shouldn't constitute someone's job, right? So it's a great return of serve. Mood boards, I'm going to skip that one. Stakeholder analysis.
Doing that later.
That's right. There you go. In real life. Let me ask you this one. This will get you going on a Tuesday morning. Any sports fans in the room? Okay. Has anyone heard of the transfer portal? It's the new lifeblood of college athletics, okay? And unless there's a change to it, which I don't think is coming, all of a sudden, let's say this is the coaching staff of the football team at LSU, and they have all these people. Guys, there are 3,119 Division I football players in the transfer portal this go around. Do you think this dozen people would be like, yep, we got all 3,100 of them labeled and ranked and followed? Come on. They may have a couple dozen, right? But what if there was a stud wide receiver at the University of Maine who ran a 4.3? And they go, well, somebody's going to get him. So we built what's called Track, Rank, Follow. The AI has access to all those players, all their statistics, and it knows our school down the street needs help at corner and defensive tackle. So it ranks those players based on their statistics and the team's need. So this empty chair right here will be any head coach in college's assist from here on out. If you don't use it, good luck. You're going to get lapped. So we built that one as well. Patient discharge. Anybody in healthcare in this room? Okay. Guys, when a patient gets discharged from a hospital, I mean, it's anywhere from 30 minutes to 6 hours, right? And that's not because the people at the hospital are bad people. They are overworked, undermanned. They got 800 things going on, but it's frustrating for the patient. So we built an AI to help with that process such that we took a lot of the human guesswork out of the equation, and it just makes everybody more efficient. So that one we built for the lake. Again, that'll be in a lot of places very soon, because it saves money, it saves people time, patients like it, so that's another example. Okay, guys, so this is where, as entrepreneurs, you have a choice, and if you're not an entrepreneur, you have a choice. I'm gonna go through 3 of them that I think you need to think hard about. Number 1, guys, you got to check your mindset on this. Forget the technology. I already made my case that change is here, and that was some broken down Model T 120 years ago. Okay, so I made my case. Change is happening now faster. How are you processing it? And you could think, oh, I'm progressive. I could catch you. I'll give you an example. Who in the room, give me a hand up if you're like, no way, no how will you catch me in a self-driving automobile? That one went up. Okay, here's what happens on that one. What's your name? Madeline? Guys, you didn't see it. Madeline's hand went up quick. She wasn't like, no. She was like, nope. Now, here's the learning. I don't care about Madeline's choice. What I do care about is the front of your brain just protected you. And you probably didn't even know it. There's a part of our brains when change comes, it says, Brian, fight or flight. And most, as we get older, it's like, run. Brian, you're old. This is for the kids, man. You're going to get embarrassed. Don't stay there. Stay safe. Stay in the horse and the buggy. And that's us trying to protect ourselves, right? But I could say 3 things on the car thing. 1, do me a favor. When you leave here, look left and look right on your drive home. Text me how many people you see texting while driving. You'll run out of fingers and toes real quick. Number 2, I tell you what, I'm going to call you at about 2:15 this morning. And you and I are going to go over to Tigerland. And we're just going to sit and watch. And what do you think we're going to see? So people that shouldn't be behind the wheel. And 3, if you're up for it, I'm going to put you in Mr. Toad's Wild Ride with my 16-year-old son or my 88-year-old father, neither of which should be having a license. So, look, that's coming. Driverless cars. How about this one? Amazon, I'm going to catch you all. Amazon Key. What's your name, ma'am? I'm sorry, behind. Kimberly? That's my sister's name. It's a pretty name. Kimberly, guess for me, the average number of hours a year a woman spends going to the grocery store and back. 257 hours a year. That's the average. Now, why do I bring that up? Do you get packages from Amazon, Kimberly?
Every day.
Okay. We got to check Kimberly and Jeff Bezos, my little something. Okay, so how about this? There's a program now called Amazon Key. They will buy your groceries and put them in your refrigerator.
And you know what? I do Walmart delivery a 3 times a week.
Okay. So you'd be down.
Yeah.
But see, who's like, nope, you had me there, no way. Yep. See, you did the same thing. And that's okay. But here's what I want you to understand. If we're doing this talk in the late 70s, and I go, what's your name, ma'am? Sharika. Sharika, guess what? The banks are going crazy. They got this thing. It's this box. It's called an ATM. And they give you this 4-digit code. And you put this thing in, and it gives you $60. I mean, Gladys gives me my $60, and she never messes up. So that's never going to work, right? You see? Now, the folks that say, hey, I'm down, you can put the groceries in my fridge. Again, they've built a time machine. And I'm not saying, if you don't like that, that's fine. What I'm saying is, can you get your mind to a place where you go, all right, it's not for me, but I understand it. If you can do that, you will win. Because y'all are all going to be at someone's birthday party or a game or a crawfish bowl this weekend. It's like, hey, Charlie, what about this AI? I don't know. I think my college kid's using it to cheat, and apparently Schwarzenegger says the robots are going to kill us all. I don't know. Or you go, it's interesting you mentioned that. We're doing some work. We're going to run a pilot pretty quickly because we're not going to get left behind. Which is more attractive? The second, right? Don't be that old guy, right? Mindset. Number 2, guys, this is my young people. Data, you got to put a ring on it. Brian, did I get that line right? Is that okay? Good. Look, guys, and data is a buzzword. When I tell you, it's never, ever, ever more important. I was on a call yesterday with a startup out of MIT. We were talking to a very large healthcare player. You know why? They want their EEG data sets. So we're now in an environment when the startup's going to pay 7 figures for access to their EEGs. Never been done before, brand new vertical stream. Why? Because they sit on that data. So whatever business you're in, if you serve the public, that idea of capturing that data and then what you do with it is everything moving forward. Because if you don't do it right, someone is going to. And guess what? The customer will vote. That's it. They're going to tell you whether your offering is good enough. Now this includes, anybody have teenage boys in the room? Anybody ever heard of a game called Fortnite? Yeah. Mom said, I heard of it. It probably cost you, didn't it? Oh, okay. Well, let's go back to the beginning. When Epic Games built Fortnite, there's usually about a $15 to $20 million kind of development cost. And the way that industry works is you say, great, stamp a bunch of discs out, send them to GameStop. If it's a good game, you got about a 4 to 5 week, and then it kind of runs out, and you make a few $100 million. Hey, great. And they go, you know what? Let's give it away. And the rest of the video game industry was like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Talk about day drinking. Don't do that. Now, why did they do that? Because they knew, Ashley, they had a good game. 1 out of 100, the survivor stands, it's cartoonish, etc. By doing that, they 20x'd their user base overnight. And then there was something that called V-Bucks, which her son kept yanking her chain and saying, Mom, can I get $20 more in V-Bucks? Oh, he paid good. You.
Say he has like about almost like not 1,200, but I think it's less.
1,200 what now?
Dollars that he spent.
On that game. Or they could have gotten his $69 up front. You see the difference? Anyone want to guess the last 6 years, the top earning video game? It starts with an F. But they flipped the script. They gave it away. I had lawyers last month, y'all. 500 of them. I'm like, can y'all give y'all's time away? And I was quickly the least popular guy in the room. But that's kind of what's happening. Anybody heard of Ozempic? The weight loss drug. You know where you can get an Ozempic prescription today? Costco. You know why? Because Natisha can walk up and be like, yep, can I see the doctor now? As opposed to, yeah, my primary care, oh, the next available is August 5th? Okay. It's happening. The snow's melting at the edges, guys. But don't kid yourself. Costco's sitting on that data. They know exactly who their Ozempic customers are. Come on. A drug at Costco's, come on. We go there for the 8 dozen avocados, right? Yeah, so that's 2. 3. Okay, this is especially for my young people. Guys, you gotta graduate from the kids' table. Young lady, what does that mean? If you're on ChatGPT, awesome, great, good for you. Have fun with the copyright stuff. Let it help you create. Let it help you reply to emails. Let it help you create LinkedIn posts. That's the kids' table. You know, at Thanksgiving, when Andrew's like, hey, Andrew, get a seat at the big boy table now. Andrew, he graduated. Now he gets to cut up with Uncle Ray Ray at the big boy table, right? Guys, that's where the business is happening. Now, what do I mean by that? I mean a business that has 20 plus years of sales data, digging deep in that data to go, who buys from us and why? Because it's not everybody. Right? And we can buy the 4 people who do buy from us and their personas associated with those 4. What are their pain points? Where do they like to be messaged? How and when? That's next level AI. But the copywriting stuff's cute. It's fun. And you know, it's fun. I can't believe it can do that. That's the kids' table. So graduate. That's your short-term goal. Okay. I think, I've got some giveaways. Get your phones out. This is my gift to you. It's a 30-page document. It's the ultimate guide to ChatGPT. So guys, if you spend time on that, you will be a weapons-grade prompt engineer. Okay? But this is, will you put the work in? It's on you. Okay? This usually goes for hundreds of dollars. This is my gift to you guys. Okay? That is a really good guide. Mood, persona, voice, tone, tenor, etc. Yes?
Did you use ChatGPT to make it?
No. Good question. She thought she had me. I probably should have, now that you mention it. But guys, if everyone says, well, how do I do it? You do it by that. You spend, Brian, 10 minutes a day on that, and you can even copy and paste what you read and put it in and see what happens. And you'll be amazed. So that's the next step to get out of the kids' table. And then guys, this is my personal information. I'm in Baton Rouge for a reason. I was born here, I moved back here. I love my city, I love my state, I love my people. And this is the kind of technology that can get us out of 47, 48, 49 out of 50. Okay, I see like my friend like Charlie Davis, there's a reason that people are here and start businesses here and stay here. This technology will propel us forward, or it won't. It's your choice. So that is my personal information. If I can ever help you, feel free to reach out. I have a big heart for entrepreneurs that are trying to get it done themselves. So that's me. All right, I think we have like 3 minutes. Does anybody have a question about AI that we could talk? Yes.
How do you train your models? And like, so you mentioned these different ways you're using it, different avenues. Are you using like the OpenAI backend and training the model?
It's a great question, Andrew. So Andrew asked, how do we train our models? It depends on the outcome. So everything will be trained on some model, meaning Andrew's not going to sit down this afternoon at his computer and go, you know what I'm going to do? Build brand new Microsoft Word, because it's built, right? So everything will be, we build mostly on the backs of OpenAI and their enterprise cloud, but that's not always the case. And then in terms of how we build, are you familiar with RAG? Do you know what RAG is? So it's like a query, a little more technical, but it really depends on what we're building. And so we always establish what the client's finish line looks like, and then we kind of work backwards, because that gives us data set, it gives us pipe connection, it gives us the queries we need, et cetera.
And on that question, do you have to pay for the tokens that you use, like, for example, if you give?
Yeah. So, yeah, so Andrew asked a good question. Tokens basically means the searches aren't free. There's compute power to that, and someone does pay for it. The price is coming down. But yeah, I mean, you have to, which cloud player you're using, and that's a competitive space. And look, there's a reason that NVIDIA has an 18-month waiting list for their Blackwell GPU chips. So all that's happening right in front of us. But my man, are you in college?
Yes, sir.
Where do you go to school?
Georgia Tech.
Oh, jeez. What are you doing here? Come on, man. Okay, like if you just sit right there and you become the guide that navigates what you just asked me, you win, if that's what you want to do. Trust me when I tell you that. And congratulations on Georgia Tech. Other questions? Yeah.
So on the market transfer thing,
Uh-huh.
you took everybody's knowledge. What is that called? Like, I saw a quote on one of the slides that said to Salesforce. Is that the Salesforce? There was a quote from Salesforce. Is that the Salesforce system, or is it?
Oh, no, I think that was some data we took from Salesforce as to what that thing would give back in money. I think it was $15 million a year. But yeah, we're basically just, because this is all new, so we're saying Salesforce predicts that kind of market knowledge transfer piece will be worth, on average, about $15 million a year to a business.
Okay, so the market transfer, I can't remember exactly what it's called, that you did for BASF?
Mm-hmm.
So, are you guys selling that?
Yeah.
You want to talk to the state of Louisiana? Because actually what's happening is exactly what you just said. So I work for the state of Louisiana, but I work in venture capital. So everything you were talking about, we need that knowledge.
Yep.
The person that was training me retired, and I've only had like 3 months experience when she retired. So all of that knowledge is left out. So I won't sound like I don't know what I'm talking about. I put their information into ChatGPT so they can tell me how to answer back my funds for venture capital. So it would be great if we had that.
I'm glad. Yeah, thank you for saying that. And look, today, it's the worst it will ever be.
Yeah.
I mean, tomorrow it's going to be a little bit better. So you have the right mindset, but that's back to my slide. That's a tension point, guys. Guess who's really slow? Our state governments. And I'm like exhorting those guys, say, come on, man, you guys got to do better. We'll see. I'm not confident, to be frank, but the market will dictate. One more question. Anybody else? Guys, to be here on a Tuesday morning when you had a full day yesterday, my hat's off to you. I don't know if those gnats will get you money at a bar in Baton Rouge, but I would try. It's worth a shot. Thank you for your time. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.